Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, a WWE star basically confirms that they've been benched.
Huge plans for Bron Breakker.
One of WWE's new signings may already be turning heel.
And Alexa Bliss only got the call for this year's Rumble at the very last minute. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
All right, let's talk about Tyler Bench. Tyler Bench?
Yes, that's his name.
Tyler Bate. He's been benched. He's not in the trench. He's on the bench. And he's basically confirmed this as much. So Tyler basically posted an Instagram photo yesterday addressing his absence somewhat. He said, not injured, waiting. ... So what a weird year he has had.
What a weird few years.
Yeah, it's been a strange old run. Seems like only yesterday he was 19 years old and killing it.
How long ago was that in real life?
Yeah, like 9 years.
Yeah, I was living in Birmingham, I remember when that happened.
Yeah, when like the UK tournament and all that stuff was happening. It was like 2016, I think. 17 maybe? It was ages ago anyway. But yeah, he hasn't been on Raw or SmackDown in ages. He was injured for ages, of course, for a while there, but WWE brought him back to Raw at the tail end of March. He reunited with Pete Dunne. They had their tag team return as the New Catch Republic in the UK on that episode of Raw. They lost to the New Day, and since then, they ain't done anything.
No.
Nothing. So that's not strictly true. They've been on Main Event. And he was in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which was won, of course, by Carmelo Hayes this year. But yeah, they've basically been benched. It's an extremely weird turn of events to bring someone back and then just not use them further on the mainline shows.
Yeah.
It was only WrestleMania week when Nick Khan, taking a shot at the competition, said, that is something we won't do. We don't sign and bench people. We only sign people who we want to use. If another entity signs and benches people now, that's not something we would do. Despite evidence, I mean, look, I'm not against people taking little shots.
Fun in it.
It's fun in the media, yeah, to talk about. I'm not against that at all. And Nick Khan is an animal when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Can't land anything on him, can you? Because he's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not in charge of booking. So
Yeah, well, blame Papa H.
I'm in charge of the old
H.
spreadsheet and telling people, get out of here.
But the thing is, when you say things like we don't bench people and your company is demonstrably benching people, people are going to go, hey, Nick Khan, you said that thing. There's other examples in WWE. Omos is the best, biggest. Literally.
He's literally also the best. What a lovely man.
Yeah, what an absolute gentleman. But they've not used him in like a year at this point. Obviously, he was in Noah for a month or so, left.
Want to know his thoughts on that? You can check out an interview with him. Though a very handsome man,
Yeah,
I believe.
Oh man, tremendous. But yeah, so it's just a weird career trajectory for Tyler Bate in general. But the pattern of him and Pete Dunne this year, coming back, getting the big return, losing, and then just going away to Main Event, peculiar.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really like Tyler Bate. I think he's a really, really talented guy. Ditto sort of Pete Dunne. I suppose you can pair them up, not just because they have been, but also their trajectories, like you say, from their time in like NXT UK and what have you. And I know, like, you know, Dunn's had the sort of Brawling Brutes and Butch and what have you. But there needs to be some sort of case study on these two guys because, you know, like you say, way back in like 2017, you thought like these are going to be, and they're Triple H guys, so you'd anticipate that once Triple H was running the show, they'd be heavily featured, but that just clearly isn't the case right now. Yeah, they've been in this weird sort of stasis for a long time now. You know, NXT UK was what it was. Some people watched it, a lot of people didn't, let's be perfectly honest. Then obviously Bate and Dunne moved to NXT and had some success there. And then they were at WrestleMania when we were there at WrestleMania 40. I mean, they didn't really get an entrance. But
yeah, they kind of cut that to pieces a little.
DIYs or something still playing in the background? Poor bastards. Anyway, yeah, I think you should use someone like Tyler Bate. Like, perfect example right now, Obafemi is running through everybody in NXT, and they're struggling to find people to face him. He's got Inamura at the Great American Bash, which should be really good fun, to be fair.
Should be beefy.
But the story is, like, no one has the power to go up against Obafemi, even big guys. A big, strong boy like Tyler Bate, I thought would be perfect, that sort of role. If they're not using him, which they aren't, I don't know what capacity you bring them back in right now. Like, there's a lot of people you sense, however you feel about Tyler Bate, are ahead of him and Pete Dunne in the pecking order.
Yeah, I just think, like, why wouldn't you just book them as a tag team more
Yes.
frequent? Like, why wouldn't you use them as like a
There's barely any on Raw.
Yeah, like a mid-level tag team, sitting there in the middle of the division, sometimes maybe challenging for the belts. Seems weird. It just seems weird to me. Like, it looks on the surface level like they brought him and them back for a pop in the UK, one-off. Oh, we made a moment with a capital M. But then moments, I think that booking just for moments is garbage nonsense. Because, like, if there's no follow-up, what on earth is the point? It just seems like a really strange situation. Unless Tyler Bate is like running about backstage throwing stink bombs at people, making enemies. I don't know what else. What other kind of shenanigans would he's put a bit of vinegar in someone's beard oil. Oh, you can't be doing that. That was a terrible prank. That's like probably the worst prank I could imagine. That just waking up and there's malt vinegar in your face.
Ooh.
After you shave, that would be brutal.
Home Alone.
Ooh. Oh no, just splashing some vinegar on your face. Unless you're a fish, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a fish...
If you're Bobby Fish, that's the only one it'll allow it for.
Or Captain Haddock.
Yes.
Michael Fish, also.
Soul Man. Rocky Johnson. I don't know, I'm trying to think of desperately for fish.
Harley Place.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wrestlers as fish. How about it in the comments?
Cod Wallace.
I hope we see him back on telly soon, though, Tyler Bate, because I think he and Pete Dunne both have significant roles to play. Like you say, do something with them.
It's weird.
Or let them go.
It's weird.
If you're not asked about using them, let them go do something else.
It reminds me of
Not sack him.
Yeah. It reminds me of what AEW did with Danhausen in Ring of Honor. They brought him back last year in December. They're just nothing. It's like, why are you going to bring people back if you're not going to do it? I mean, if you're a main event fanatic, you're probably sitting there at home right now going, shut up, guys. They had the 5-star classic on main event this week. I don't know.
We've got our big show, Saturday night's main event this weekend.
That's it. Saturday night's main event is actually a PLE for the main event brand. Did you know? I don't know if you were aware. What's nonsense?
It's just so surreal. But, as Brits living in America, I'm sure sometimes they're like, I wonder what British Netflix is like.
Or if you're a Brit living in America and you want to access all your favourite shows from back home, how about NordVPN, baby? There's only 2 more days on this great deal we got running. 70%, 76% off, I beg your pardon. 4 months for free and up to a $50 Amazon gift card if you sign up right now. It's £50 if you sign up from the UK, by the way. Check out the deal down below. Links in the description, top comment. You had the QR code a second ago. It's disappeared. But you know what to do.
It's a great deal.
Best in the business.
From someone who they don't clearly have some plans for right now in Tyler Bate, someone they clearly have big plans for in Bron Breakker. Great showing for him on last night's Monday Night Raw. And Viper of Bodyslam.net reporting that WWE have got major plans for him as part of this. Are we calling them the Vision now? Seth Rollins' stable?
I call them the Seth Riders, personally.
Indeed. Worst comparison ever that you can have, in my opinion.
You don't want that, do you? Like,
no,
geez.
thank you. But the long-term plans. No surprise here that the long-term plans for Bron Breakker is to have him turn on Seth Rollins. Now this is still a way off, but seeds have already been planted. You see him sort of breaking off on his own and snatching the microphone away from Seth Rollins last night. The microwave as well.
That's mine. I need to make my wrestler's burger.
My socks are wet, so I need to dry them off. Don't do that, Bron. He grabbed the microphone away from Seth last night to say, Sami Zayn, I hate you. I'm going to kill you later. And he did, with a little bit of help from Karrion Kross. Now, the split is way off, as I say, from Seth's group. But the report appears to say that Paul Heyman will stick with Bron Breakker, which you would, wouldn't you? I mean, he's a killer, and he's going to be like that for 10, 15 years, right at the top of the card, hopefully. So I understand that.
He's literally got the word badass on his gear. Come on.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah, he's got unbelievable upside, I think. So yeah, probably the direction everyone thought when the stable came together. I don't like the modern wrestling thing of stables only coming together to split up eventually. It's every single one of them. It's the case these days. Sometimes I think people should just be friends forever. However, in this case, it's clearly to elevate a rising star and someone you're gonna have a lot of future investment in.
Yeah.
Also, him having Heyman's a good idea because Heyman is at his best when he has a wrecking ball to manage.
Yeah.
Braun's a good talker, but Paul Heyman's like...
He's got that Steiner promo in him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's good. Paul Heyman's one of the all-time best. So it's like a nice combination there. I don't think Braun's going to stand there like Brock once did on Raw and go, Paul, say something stupid. Although I would, might be quite funny. But yeah, everyone loves Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
If you don't see it, I would suggest going to Specsavers, sir.
Him and Jacob Fatu are certified WrestleMania main eventers in a few years, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like the fact that they always sort of circle back to that as the occasional teaser, just a look or a moment between the two of them. It's been a while since that happened, but it always looks good in like Royal Rumbles or whatever. I don't know when this split's going to happen. I'd hold off for it on a while, but I do hope the speculation, obviously, that there's going to be another person brought into the group, maybe a Ricky Saints or an Ethan Page. I'd like that to be done with Seth Rollins with an eye on the fact that Braun's kind of getting too big for his boots. So he's like, I'm gonna put my arm around this guy instead and shun Braun a little bit, because Seth would be stupid not to realise that eventually this is going to happen. Yeah. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out in terms of who comes out as a babyface from it. Because traditionally, if you turn on someone who you're in a stable with, you're the heel. But it's Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins. So we'll wait and see. Bron
Breakker could be a really good badass babyface, and also Seth is a lot better as a heel.
I agree.
I think, like his last major face run, like the 2019 run, was just like, oh man, this is bland.
Braun Spear is so over. It's hard to get people to go like, oh, boo.
Yeah, how dare you run the entire length of the building and then propel yourself about 30 feet through a person. That's so awesome. Boo.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense. It's too cool. It's like people often talk about flippy guys not adapting to being a heel because the moves are so spectacular. This is the same thing. It's so awesome. It's kind of hard to boo.
Yeah.
Like Goldberg versus La Parka from back in the day. Unbelievable.
Such a good clip.
Yeah, get in the bin. That was good. Right. Let's talk about what we're talking about now. Mariah May.
Oh, yeah.
That's not her name. Blake Monroe.
Yes.
Blake Monroe, turning heel. Apparently, there's already been talk of her turning heel in WWE. Ooh, interesting. So this report's from Fightful Select. She's obviously been introduced with a lot of fanfare on NXT. Now, however, this direction might change a little bit. Fightful notes that a heel turn for Blake has already been discussed. They haven't heard when that might happen, but it has been brought up for the near future. So maybe not long. There are long-term plans for her after debuting on NXT. It's not like Tyler Bate where there was clearly no plan when they brought him back. They brought Mariah May, Blake Monroe. I'll get there eventually, guys.
Yeah, it'll take a while.
I'll get there eventually. They brought her in.
My brain always still fights with Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints.
Yeah, I'm still not there. It's weird. But yeah, there are long-term plans in play. Look, it's a heel character. It's 100% a heel character.
Yeah, it's better as that, isn't it?
The current gimmick is babyface by virtue of being new and shiny. That's pretty much it. It's a flashy, extravagant lifestyle. It's a heel character. It's not exactly Dusty Rhodes, is it?
No.
Pork and beans and all that. So it makes all the sense in the world. I'm not against people coming in and going, oh, new person, let's cheer them for a bit. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
That's natural. But yeah, after a while, it will get to the point where it's like, Blake Monroe, your characteristics are that of a villainess, so let's turn. I don't think it'll be too long either, and I think that's the best role for her, because that's where she really shone in AEW, and that's probably where she's really going to shine in WWE as well.
Yeah, I think it just makes all the sense in the world. Like you say, she's better off as a heel, and I think if you look at the landscape of NXT, which I assume she's going to be in till 2026 at some point. She's going to spend the rest of the year in NXT without question, because the amount of call-ups we've seen, especially in the women's division from NXT to the main roster, there's no rush for her right now. And if you look at the way things are going and what's coming up this weekend, you've obviously got Great American Bash. She's tagging with Jordynne Grace against Fatal Influence, and then by all presumptions, Jordynne Grace is going to become NXT Women's Champion, beating JC Jane on Sunday at Evolution. Jordynne Grace is a babyface. She can play heel as well, but I think if you want to set that up, then Blake Monroe would be a better character to play heel there. Yep. Or if you want to have Blake Monroe do something else with, I don't know, the North American title or whatever, it's better to have Blake as a heel, because you can think of many names off the top of your head that can play heel as well, but not as well as Blake Monroe, so it makes sense for them to be baby faces. I'm talking your Jada Parkers, your Kalani Jordans, your Lash Legends even. So I think that's the best for everybody, and I hope that this future with potentially Jordynne Grace as the sort of main event program for those two could be really, really exciting for NXT.
Yeah, for sure. Extremely talented person. Yeah. Earned her spot at the top of the other company's card for a year and a half. The best women's program in that place is in AEW's history.
Yeah.
What can she do in WWE? We will find out long term, for sure.
Right, let's talk about Alexa Bliss. She's obviously at Evolution as well. She's in that 4-way tag team title match with her best friend, Charlotte Flair. But of course, she made her return.
You don't like being touched on the head, but, you know.
Yeah. She made a return at the Royal Rumble, of course. Great reaction for her there, but it was very much a last-minute thing. She was on the Nikki and Brie show. One of the best shows out there, that's not ours, obviously.
I heard it's in the top 3.
But, yeah, she spoke about how real last-minute this was. I got the call at midnight the night before. Jeez. And it wasn't fully decided until 4 a.m. I get a call at 5 and they're like, all right, we need you on a plane by 10 a.m. No one would see me. I flew to Cincinnati, drove in, had to cover up, got snuck in a back room. I didn't get there until 4 where the first match started at 6. So they sneaked her in. So nobody knew about this. Barely even Alexa Bliss by the sounds of this.
Yeah.
Always astonishes me because I think Alexa Bliss, if we go back to January, was a name that you and I would have been speculating on. And by the sounds of this, feels like WWE went,
oh, yeah.
we've only got 29 women. Oh, God, no one's called Alexa.
Yeah, what's going on? Well, there was all the stuff with her contract, wasn't there?
Yes.
At that time where it was like she hasn't re-signed, the deal's coming up or has come up. I don't remember the specifics of it. But then when she appeared in the Royal Rumble, a lot of people used that as ammunition to go, the dirt sheets, the lying Alexa's here. When now she has just come out and said it was extremely last minute. The exact same thing happened, if you recall, when CM Punk went back to WWE.
Yeah, only the real journalist knew about that return.
Yeah, his best friend over here. That was the similar thing to where Punk came out and said, really last day off.
Signing the contract on the way to the ring.
Yeah, basically, like his music hit and he signed the deal and then he went out pretty much. So like the reporting for both of those situations was bang on actually. I think people just like to, I don't know, it's a post-truth era we live in where people just like to buy into narratives over actual reality of things. So pretty cool that Alexa's come out and told this story. I mean, it sounds insane. Midnight, I need my sleep, man.
Not only that, but like, are you in ring shape? And you've got Lily with you by any chance, have you?
Yeah. Have you got a jacket like with a cool callback to Bray?
Do they just assume talent keep like Rumble days free? What if you're like, I've got a hotel booking?
Who knows? It was like Jordan Grace said, it's my mum's birthday. Sorry, people.
Yeah.
Can't come. Can't make it. Sneaky. Yeah, so good. This is kind of fun. I like hearing about chaotic last-minute stories, and she got the pop of the year.
Yeah.
It was the pop of the year so far. It was
Brilliant.
Unbelievable. Because she hadn't been around for 2 years. And it's Alexa Bliss, and everyone likes her.
She hasn't missed a step, has she? She's been really good. They sort of used her at the Rumble. Then you didn't use her for a bit. Then she was in the Chamber. Yes, my brain's super. I apologise.
Yes.
And I really like this new direction they've got with her and Charlotte Flair. Like, you can go in 2 very different directions following Evolution. You could legitimately see them leaving with the tag team titles as this weird sort of really talented odd couple, or you can just do the inevitable Alexa versus Charlotte at, let's say, SummerSlam.
Yeah, there's plenty of directions you can go. Another long-term Charlotte Flair storyline where she cuts promos would be great after the Tiffany. Hopefully they don't personally dislike each other as much as those two seemed to in their promos.
And he sure laid it in the ring as well.
Yeah, oh boy, that one. Timmy, I can't hear you, so squeaky. What was that? Good for the content is what it was.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an unbelievable situation.
There was the satellite call where Charlotte was just like, right, I'm going to destroy you here. And then Tiffany was like, we're doing this, are we? Okay.
Yeah. Kaiser's in my idea. It's so desperate. It was like a desperate Hail Mary that just didn't come off at the end. What a time to be alive that was.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
My goodness. Yeah, it was great for the numbers too.
Oh,
fantastic.
More of that sort of thing.
Sensational. Do you know what else is good for the numbers? Clicking this button right here. This is what we're going to put in here today, Chief. 10 brutal wrestling ribs that made it to television.
Oh,
look at that thumbnail. Look at that. Look at those purple words right there. You want to click on it, don't you?
Go on, give it a click.
Give it a... See you later.
Bye.
Bye.